everybody, welcome to Remrov's World of Autism. In this video I want to talk more about autism and doctor's visits. In my last video you could learn that I had a pinched nerve in my neck. So lately I've been visiting a lot of doctors, actually in the last 2 months because of that. During my last visit to my own doctor, my own family doctor, he actually said it's not a pinched nerve but an inflammation in my shoulder, so I got some extra meds on top of it to help with the pain. And it's actually getting better, so I'm happy with that. Still some pain, but while being on the meds it's going a lot better. But during all those doctor's visits I did notice quite some issues and difficulties related to my autism and things like that. So I thought it would be good to do a video about that and to share my experiences with you. And I'm sure that other autistic people also struggle with those things. And I also want to share some solutions with you. Solutions I found to help myself with those difficulties. So visiting a doctor or a dentist or any specialist can be very difficult and stressful for autistic people, and this is because of a few different reasons. The first reason is the communication part of it. When you go to a doctor, you have to explain your issues, your symptoms, the kind of pain that you're seeing the doctor for, and this cannot always be easy to, I find it's very difficult, for example, to explain what kind of pain I have. Then, of course, as a response, the doctor will also ask you questions, more in detail, like how long you've been having certain symptoms, for example. And it can be difficult to understand the question in the first place, but also to find good answers for it. And personally, I also find it very difficult to keep track on what the doctor is saying or what advice he's giving me, because I find it so stressful and difficult to go there in the first place. So then after a doctor's visit, I'm at home and then I'm wondering, okay, what did he say about that again? The second reason is that many autistic people find it very difficult and stressful to be touched. And doctors, they might touch you to find more out about your pain and where it is exactly, and to check your mobility and things like that. And that can be very difficult and stressful. Then the third reason is the feeling of loss of control. When I'm visiting a dentist, I really feel like I'm losing control. You have to lie back in a chair, and then the dentist is just gonna do all these things in your mouth, everything that's needed to help you. And I always get a feeling that I lose the control since you're just lying there. And I also notice that when I'm lying in a dentist chair, I'm extremely tense. All my muscles are extremely tense, constantly. No matter if the treatment is only half an hour or 4 hours, I'm just totally tense from top to toe. And so afterwards I'm just totally sore all over. Then we have the fourth reason, and that is the unpredictability of it and of everything altogether. Like, for example, how will the doctor respond when you're explaining your situation? Will he be nice? Will he give you the time to even explain it, or will he be very rushed? And what kind of questions will he ask? Will you be able to explain everything? Will he or she touch you, or will it hurt or not? And of course, when you walk out of a dentist or a doctor's appointment, you want to walk out with a solution and the feeling that it was helpful. And it can be very frustrating if you walk out and you just don't have a solution, or you're still walking around with the same issues. So these are the reasons why I think for many people, but especially for autistic people, that doctor's visits can be very difficult. Then I have some advice for autistic people also, and those are also things that I try to do. Before you see a doctor, it will be a really good thing to write everything down, like in detail, and just take the time for that, to do that. Like, where do you have pain, for how long do you have it, what kind of pain, try to describe it and just write it all down. Also, it would be good to write down like what kind of results you would like out of your doctor's visit. For example, you would like to have a prescription for a certain medication, for example. And while you are preparing for this, it is also very good to try to anticipate all the questions the doctors might ask you. You can be guaranteed that the doctor will ask you, like, yeah, where's the pain exactly, and also when it started, or what the cause is of your pain. Did you fall down, or did it just start? Things like that. So the more you anticipate the questions that your doctor might ask you, the easier the communication will go. And if you find it too difficult to communicate with words, you can even give the notes that you wrote everything on, you can give it to the doctor so he can just read it. That's also a great solution in case you freeze or you find it just too difficult to communicate. Then the second advice is also prepare yourself for the fact that a doctor might touch you. I mean, it's like, yeah, normal, that's okay. When I had a pain here, then the doctor touched me and he moved my arm around in my neck. And so yeah, he had to touch me for that. So, and that was difficult, but I prepared myself for that beforehand. So then it wasn't too unpredictable for me. You can also tell the doctor that you find it difficult to be touched, so he can touch you as less as possible. And he can also explain beforehand where he will touch you and if it will hurt or not. And also like at the dentist, for example, with the feeling of loss of control, it really helps me if the dentist will constantly explain beforehand what he or she is going to do, like if it will hurt or not, for example. And some other advice is, while being at the doctor, it is also good to write down the things he says and the advice he gives you. Because of all the stress, if you find it really stressful to be there, it can all turn into one big blur, all the advice. And then later at home you're wondering, okay, you just don't know what he said about anything anymore. You can also even ask the doctor to write it down for you and to type it out and to print it out. That might also be really helpful. And another solution that I've been thinking about is a voice recorder, to just like record the whole visit and just ask if the doctor is okay with that, so that you can listen to the conversation afterwards when you're at home and when you're not anxious or stressed out. And then another piece of advice is, if you find everything too difficult to do yourself, then you can bring somebody with you who knows you very well and who knows what's going on with you, so he or she can do the communication for you or support you in that way, and he or she can also be there and listen to what the doctor is saying. Then I also have some advice for doctors. When a patient is coming in your office and this person tells you that he or she is autistic, don't dismiss it. This person will tell you this for a very good reason. And I personally have encountered it quite a few times that a doctor just said, oh yeah, what difference does it make? You know, and they just dismissed it as it not being important, while it really is important. And it can be very frustrating if it's just dismissed like that. It will be very good to ask your autistic patients questions, like a good question would be what that person needs in order to make the visit more easy on that person, for example. And explain things beforehand, before you start treating a person, or explain everything in more detail. And you might just want to take more time for that. Autistic people might just need a bit more time than other patients. So that's a very good thing to keep in mind. So this was it. I don't have much more to say about it. I hope you enjoyed my video. Give me the thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos about autism and to stay updated about everything. I hope to see you with my next videos again. Bye!